All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Please click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV or every time a follow-up goes up on SouFLoTV. Update to the videos that we have done before. A lot of these videos, just like this one, murder happened and then somebody was arrested and then years go by and then case goes to court, and then we normally follow through every video that we do. Sometimes it takes years. That's why we say hit the bell to be subscribed, but click the notification bell, right? So you will be notified when the other part of the story goes up, like this story right here. Andre Mcdonald. Check this out. This story man, the irony of this story. Somebody called me and them said, SouFlo, how come you're not doing anything about the Andre Mcdonald case? The case is on. We need to hear your commentary. So I said, okay, let me go do my due diligence and do my research. Oh, no, me do already. I don't like the upfront superficial information. I like to dig deep into the information and even turn it into a discussion as well. So sit in for a minute. Let me fill you in on what is going on with this case and get people up to date who did not know about this case. And then we'll leave it right there. So Andre Mcdonald. Andre Mcdonald is the son of Beachy Stout Mcdonald. Beachy Stout Mcdonald is the wealthy businessman from Portland, Jamaica, who caught the same charge as his son around the same time. His son caught the same charge, like father, like son. His son is a Airforce Major. A major, that rank in the U.S. military, whether it be Air Force, Army, Marine, whatever. A major is no rank to play with, right? A major clears out a room. If a major is coming through, everybody lock it up. Respect is due. When you see them outside in the open, you have to hail a salute. If you don't hail a salute and you pass them willy-nilly like you're passing any other soldier, those in uniform know this for a fact. You can actually get in trouble. So it's a heavy rank to carry. So his son was a heavy ranking major in the Air Force, and the daddy is a wealthy businessman from Portland, Jamaica, both facing murder charges. Both locked up in prison, one in Jamaica, one in the United States of America. Look at the irony of this. Both are facing murder charges for the same thing in two different countries. Both are accused of murdering or taking the lives of their wife. YouTube don't like when we use the word murder. Them usually flag your video after that. So, but y'all bear with me. If you hear me go blank in certain places, you know said that's the word that was supposed to go in there. All right? Okay. All right. So, and on top of that, both wives were actually really good friends in real life. So you have two friends that were both taken out, one by the father and one by the son. The father's trial, people been asking, SouFlo, how come I not hear nothing about Beachy Stout and Beachy Stout trial date? Them not try him. Well, his trial date is set for September of this year, 2023. And his son, Andre Mcdonald, his trial date is set for January 23rd, 2023. Now, January 23rd is tomorrow, Monday, right? Now, this is where the case is so far. Pay attention. Come, I'm going to walk you through all this, get you up to speed, and then we're going to follow it from there. All right? Because I will be tuned in tomorrow. I know where it is going to be aired live tomorrow, the entire thing. And I will be tuned in. And I will be collecting notes for you so we can discuss more. After 3 days of testimonies at the preliminary hearing leading into the trial, the judge has given his ruling of what will be accepted into evidence and what will be thrown out and not accepted into evidence. I can tell you that Andre Mcdonald's attorneys scored a big victory already. Hear this. The jury has already been selected. Everything is set to go. And this ain't like Jamaica where they keep putting off and putting off and putting off until 5, 7, 9 years later, trial still hasn't come to fruition yet. In the US, when they say trial starts tomorrow morning at 9, usually, unless there's some kind of big hiccup, trial starts tomorrow morning at 9. And it won't be postponed more than once. So we're looking forward to tomorrow morning, January 23rd, to see what happens. Yes, the judge who's going to oversee the trial has already listened to both sides, the defense and the prosecution. You know, this is the stage where the defense goes and says, hey, judge, they got some evidence from Andre, which is our client that we're defending against this murder charge, the major. They got some evidence from him, but the way they got the evidence was illegal. For instance, there is one case where they actually entered his house, him and his wife Andrene's house, through a window that was unlocked. Now, you know, in the United States of America, they would say that is breaching his Fourth Amendment rights in the Constitution. So that evidence was illegally obtained. You were supposed to get a warrant from a judge or from a precinct head and bring the warrant and properly search the house, but you don't enter people's private residence through a window, right? And that's the kind of technicality. On that technicality, his lawyers already scored a victory and had some evidence thrown out already that will not be accepted in court. Now keep listening. I'm going to tell you what will be accepted and what will not be accepted in court. So Andre's lawyer had some victories. His lawyer says that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated and that also he was illegally arrested. The judge said, as far as illegal arrest, I'm going to go ahead and grant the defense motion to suppress on that. As far as this written note where he, and then the judge says, as far as this written note where he, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what note I'm talking about. I'm going to explain that to you. As far as the deputies finding the shovel and gas can and friends finding the blood, that will be allowed inside of the court. So there was evidence, the deputies finding the shovel and gas can and those kind of stuff that was in a vehicle, and they saw it. One of the deputies saw it in the back of the vehicle when they first went to the house, but he didn't search that vehicle. He thought about it after they left, and then they went back to the house, and that's the deputy that said, hey, while we were looking through the house, right, I walked past in the garage and there was this vehicle in the garage, the SUV, that in the back of it, through the window, I saw all that stuff in there. Now, this would look like stuff that you would use to dash with somebody, stuff you would use to go bury a body, right? So he saw the garbage bags and he saw the burn pit out back of the house where it was still smoking when they got there. That means stuff was burnt in it and that. So as far as the deputies finding the shovel, the gas can and all that in the back of the car, those damning evidence will be accepted into court. As far as Andrene's friend went to court and testified, but she was the one who actually went into their house because she was checking on her homegirl. Because Andrene was a very punctual kind of person. If she says she was going to be somewhere at 2 o'clock, she was going to be there at 2 o'clock or 15 minutes to 2. So when she did not show up for where she was supposed to show up for, this is a close friend of hers that went looking for her herself. And when she went looking for her at the house, her residence that she shared with her husband, Andre Mcdonald, she noticed some weird things. However, there was a door that was unlocked and she went into the premises. And when she went into the premises, she said that she noticed hair and blood on a light switch in the bathroom. This, she will be in court to testify. That testimony was also admitted into court. According to the judge says, that's fine. that testimony will be allowed in the court. So that will go in. What will not be allowed in court, though, is listen to this, though. And this is why this is a major victory for him, because this is damning evidence, What will not be allowed into court is the information of him being arrested outside a gun shop 2 days after Andreen disappeared. Now, I remember they were saying something when this all happened back then that, oh, he was feeling suicidal, he was missing his wife and all this other stuff, and all these charges were coming, so he was going to purchase a gun, and he was going to use that gun on himself. Now, we don't know how far that goes or how true that is. That could have been his defense. However, he was arrested outside of a gun shop, I believe shortly after making a purchase. And at the gun shop, that information will be admitted into court. However, two things that will not be admitted into court that came from this arrest, which I think should have been admitted into court, and is this. When they arrested him at the gun shop, there was a handwritten note that he had in his pocket at the time of the arrest outside of the gun shop, and on that handwritten note was a list of things, again, a list of things that you would probably need to go dash with somebody. On the list, it had things like flashlight batteries, large garbage bags, and so on and so forth, gas cans, and that shovel, so on and so forth. And those will not be admitted into court. So that is a major victory for Andre's lawyer. Also, what will not be admitted into court as well is Andre Mcdonald's medical records. His medical records will be suppressed. That means if he was seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist because he was depressed and he was beating up his wife and he was having trouble at work or in other parts of his life and he was going through mental issues or whatever the case may be, the defense will not be able to use all that to paint a picture leading up. You understand? So that again is another major victory already for Andre Mcdonald. Monday, 9 a.m., opening statements will start. Live streaming will be taking place and I will be paying attention. Now, for those of you who don't remember, they have a child together, and that child is a little girl, and the little girl is non-verbal autistic. Right? So it is said that the little girl was in the house when whatever took place in the house took place in the house. Remember when she went missing first, when Andreen went missing, they asked Andre, what happened to your wife? Like, where did she go? He said, we had an argument and she left. She left, but she didn't take her vehicle. That's weird. He was like, yeah, a car came and picked her up. I don't know. And then later on, him said he was lying and he said something else. And then he became non-cooperative, which made law enforcement very suspicious, because anybody have their wife missing, especially a military man, he's not only going to be searching for her, he's going to be trying to use his links, his military links, to search for her. And he's also going to be very helpful to law enforcement, which this man was none of the above. Right? So it is said that the little girl might have seen what happened, but she can't explain nothing because she is autistic and she is non-verbal. Andreen, the wife, she was known as a person that was very, very educated, very forward-moving, forward thinker, very motivated. She worked out. She lived her life on a schedule pretty much. She was always at the gym. She worked out on time every day. If somebody missed her at the gym, it was because something was wrong. She would go from the gym to her business, and she owned a long-term care facility. As a matter of fact, around the time of her going missing, she had just opened up her second long-term care facility. No. Long-term care facilities, we're talking about home for the elderly, right? She had, and those things make buku bucks, especially because you're dealing with government money and insurance payouts and all that. And if they're ran properly, they can make a sick amount of income. So they were living pretty much high above the hog. They lived in an exclusive community in a house that cost a whole lot of money. They drove luxury vehicles, and they were living really good. I can tell you that a major salary from the Air Force is not enough to fund that type of lifestyle. So obviously their lifestyle was being funded by Andreen. Anyway, neither here nor there. She owned the medical facility. She was doing very well in life. I was privileged to speak to a family member who asked me to not mention their name, right? And they gave me a little info, a little insight, and they actually sent me a picture and gave me permission to use the picture of the person. So this picture is that person of Andreen's cousin, who was said to be messing around with her husband, Andre, before her passing. And it was said that this cousin actually wanted her lifestyle. She wanted her life. She wanted the business. She wanted the house. She wanted the husband. All that stuff. Now, funny enough, the same person asked me, she said, SouFlo, after Andreen went missing and Andre got arrested and then he was released. Remember, he was released, and then he was re-arrested. When he got released, guess who moved into the house and was helping him take care of the little girl, helping him to see about the business and all these other things? The same cousin. And she said the cousin is over there under false pretense because she's acting like she's there to comfort and help, when the truth of the matter is there's something going on between her and her cousin's husband, which is Andre Mcdonald. Crazy case, right? Okay, now, after speaking to that family member, the family member also informed me that their family, that is how they all are. All of them, they're raised that way. They're about education. So everybody is pushed to the max to earn a degree, to get out there, to maximize your potential. They are up, forward, moving people, that kind of thing. And it's pretty much everybody in her family is like that, right? Cause of her death? Well, or why him do it, or why allegedly he did it. Well, here we go. So she went to Jamaica, and on a trip to Jamaica, funny enough, her last trip to Jamaica, she took a picture with Beachy Stout's wife, who was a friend of hers. And now she is gone, and Beachy Stout's wife is gone as well. Now, it's funny because when she went to Jamaica, here's what happened. Allegedly, she meet up with an old-time boyfriend, flame, somebody who she used to be with before. I was told that nothing never go on with them. It's not like they went out on a date or anything. They were seen in public, though, together. So they were talking and laughing and all these things. And I was told that it was the same cousin that actually told her husband that she went to Jamaica and meet up with our ex-man. And he, being who he is, did not take it lightly. And from that came an argument. And from that argument came her disappearance. Last time I checked was today. And there's an article that was printed yesterday in a major newspaper out of Texas that says he is still a major, still enlisted in the Air Force. And I will ask you, the audience, what does that tell you? They didn't drop him. They didn't kick him out. He didn't resign or anything like that. He is still listed as a major in the Air Force, in the United States Air Force. All right. And that's where it stands for now. So tomorrow morning, Monday morning, the 23rd of January, his trial will officially start. They will kick off all the opening statements, and I will be there to tune in to see what is said and how this is going to go. Let me make my prediction now. Big, broad, and bold. I believe, I told y'all before, the military takes care of their own. Okay? So I believe that some things are going to be bent in order to help him. However, there's a substantial amount of evidence against him already. So it's going to be very hard for him to wiggle his way out of this one. Not only that, If they believed in him that much, he wouldn't have been sitting in lockup for this long, right? So here we go. We're going to see how this one turns out. And I believe that he will eventually be found guilty, and then he will be dishonorably discharged from the military. I would explain to you how the officer part goes. They can't just like kick them out from Monday to Tuesday and be like, okay, you're accused of murder, your wife disappeared, we no longer accept you. It doesn't go like that. He's not an enlisted man. He is of the officer's corps. So that is handled through the military in a different manner. But we'll get into all that later. My prediction is he will be found guilty though. Y'all stay tuned. All right. Big up on yourself and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.